In the bustling village of Atakpamé, Togo, a young man named Kofi ran a modest food stall by a dusty roadside. His shop, a patchwork of wooden planks and corrugated iron, stood under a sprawling mango tree. At 25, Kofi had little to his name, worn sandals, faded shirts, and a small rented room with no electricity. Yet, his warm smile greeted every customer, and his laughter echoed through the market. Each dawn, he rose to cook jollof rice, groundnut soup, and fufu, his hands swift despite the weight of his own struggles. Orphaned as a child, Kofi had no family, only his dreams of a better life. One day, as Kofi cleaned his counter, his friend Oma passed by. "Kofi, why do you smile so much when life is so hard?" she asked. Kofi chuckled, wiping sweat from his brow. "Smiling doesn't cost me anything, Oma. It keeps my pot full." Oma shook her head, laughing, but her words lingered. Kofi had little, yet he often shared his food with those who couldn't pay, believing kindness was its own reward. Every evening, a crippled beggar appeared near Kofi's stall, dragging himself along in a rickety wheelchair. His clothes were tattered, his legs wrapped in frayed bandages, and his face weathered by the sun. The wheels of his chair squeaked against the gravel, drawing sneers from passers-by. "Look at that filthy man," a trader muttered. Children giggled, and some held their noses. But Kofi saw only a man in need. He called him Uncle T. One humid afternoon, Uncle T arrived, his face gaunt. "You didn't come yesterday," Kofi said gently. Uncle T's voice was faint. "Too weak. Haven't eaten in days." Kofi glanced at his last bowl of groundnut soup, meant for himself. Without hesitation, he placed it before Uncle T. "Eat," he said. Uncle T's hands trembled as he took the spoon. "Your last meal again?" he asked. Kofi smiled. "I'll cook more later." A woman nearby scoffed, "Why feed that beggar, Kofi?" He replied softly, "If I were in his place, I'd hope someone cared." Uncle T came daily, never begging aloud, just sitting quietly by the stall. Kofi always served him, sometimes fufu, sometimes rice, always with a smile. The villagers mocked, but Kofi's heart remained steady. One evening, as Kofi served Uncle T a plate of jollof rice with a piece of fish, a sleek black SUV pulled up. A tall man in a crisp suit stepped out, his shoes gleaming. He ordered a plate of fufu, but his eyes kept drifting to Uncle T, who ate slowly, head bowed. The man's gaze lingered, curious, almost puzzled. He paid, glanced at Uncle T once more, and drove off without a word. Kofi felt a strange unease but brushed it aside. The next morning, Uncle T didn't appear. Kofi waited, scanning the road. Hours passed, then days. By the third day, worry gnawed at him. He asked traders, children, even the motorcycle taxi drivers, "Have you seen Uncle T?" None had. "Maybe he's gone to another village," one man said with a shrug. Kofi's heart sank. He sat by his stall, staring at the empty spot where Uncle T's wheelchair once rested, his usual joy dimmed. On the fourth day, as Kofi stirred a pot of soup, another black SUV stopped. A man in a tailored suit and a green cap handed Kofi a sealed envelope. "Read it. Tell no one," he said curtly before driving away. Kofi's hands shook as he opened it. A single note read, "Come to Prestige Lodge at 5 p.m. From a friend. His pulse raced. Prestige Lodge? He'd never been to such a place. But something told him he had to go. At 4:30 p.m., Kofi locked his stall, whispering a prayer, and hailed a motorcycle taxi. The lodge loomed grandly, glass walls, polished gates, and security guards in crisp uniforms. Kofi showed the note to a guard, who nodded. Someone's waiting inside. A man in a suit led him through a marble hall to a heavy wooden door. Kofi's heart pounded as he pushed it open. Inside, a man sat in a polished wheelchair, dressed in a fine suit, his face clean and hair neatly trimmed. Kofi froze. "Uncle T." The man smiled. "Not Uncle T. My name is Monsieur Kwame, and I'm a billionaire." Kofi's jaw dropped. Monsieur Kwame explained, he owned businesses across West Africa, from hotels to factories. Years ago, he began disguising himself as a beggar to find true kindness in a world clouded by greed. "You fed me every day, Kofi, asking nothing in return. Your heart is rare." Kofi stammered, "But, you can walk." Monsieur Kwame stood, steady and strong. "I used the wheelchair to test people's compassion. You passed." Tears welled in Kofi's eyes. "I just wanted to help." Monsieur Kwame nodded. "That's why I chose you. Each year, I reward 10 kind souls. You're one of them." Monsieur Kwame led Kofi outside to a convoy of SUVs. They drove to a quiet street lined with modern buildings. The cars stopped before a stunning restaurant, its sign reading, "Kofi's Kitchen, Home of Good Taste." Kofi's breath caught. "This is mine." Monsieur Kwame handed him the keys. "Yours. A place for you to shine." Inside, the restaurant gleamed, marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and a state-of-the-art kitchen. Kofi fell to his knees, tears streaming. "I don't deserve this." Monsieur Kwame smiled. "Your kindness earned it." Months later, Kofi's kitchen was the talk of Atakpamé. Wealthy patrons dined in elegance, served by professional staff. Kofi, now a respected owner, never forgot his roots. He launched Kofi's Care, a charity delivering free meals to the poor across Togo. Every week, his food trucks fed hundreds, children, elders, the forgotten. As he handed out meals, Kofi would say, "You're not alone." One evening, as the sun set, Kofi looked skyward. "Thank you, Monsieur Kwame," he whispered. His life had transformed, but his heart remained unchanged, forever rooted in kindness.